Breaking news now on CBS LA. We are following a pursuit of, oh my goodness, Mike, what's going on here? It looks like they've got the Grappler out.
They do. Riverside County Sheriff's Office is one of the only agencies that has the Grappler. Look at, here they go. K-9 unit's going to use it. Are they going to get them? Oh, this is brand new technology. We have never seen it used before in a pursuit. This guy is flying down the road. The K-9 unit from Riverside County Sheriff's Office is going to use it.
Oh my goodness.
Did it work?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, right.
Well, it didn't work the way it's intended to, but it worked enough to send that car right into this wall, into the fence.
Whoa.
We didn't even get a chance to tell you, this was all over alleged traffic violations. Riverside Sheriff trying to use that new technology they have, which is the Grappler, which is designed to have that net catch the back wheel of that car. This is a Cadillac CT5. You saw when it happened, it didn't quite catch the way it was supposed to, and it sent that car swerving into that brick wall. The sheriff's deputy that had the Grappler on it, John, I don't know if we can pull out just a second, he also lost control. I don't know what happened to him. If he ended up, there's a Bearcat already on scene. I don't know if that sheriff's K-9 unit ended up anywhere of concern or if he was able to just pull over, but he also lost control. Oh, he's right there. Okay, so they're fine. But there's the Grappler right on the front of that K-9 vehicle. Now they're going to try to get this suspect out, if he's even conscious at this point. That was quite the collision right here as we came on the air.
Mike, I didn't realize the Grappler was something that you had to back, or basically ride up right behind the back wheels there.
Yeah, you got to get up right behind it, and the design is that the net gets caught in the wheels. It's difficult, though.
Sort of did.
It did, yeah. It just didn't. It got more caught on the bumper, right? And that's what you caught on the right side of your screen is what you're seeing there, where the bumper comes off, and that's where the suspect ultimately loses control. Now, it brought the pursuit to an end, certainly not in the way that they wanted it to. The first time, though, we have ever seen a Grappler be used here live on the air as we're following this chase here on KCAL 9, as the Riverside Sheriff's deputies had been trying to get this guy. They did in pursuit for a long time. I mean, we have been trying to get out here for the better part of 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes. There was a standoff portion of this. We had been sitting over it, kind of waiting for it. And then as soon as we came on the air, we did so because the guy started to drive away. And you saw immediately when we came on the air, that is when Riverside Sheriff tried to use the Grappler, a new tool. We were actually out there with them not that long ago, demonstrating how it works. They say it's been very successful. Certainly not the outcome that they wanted, though.
Well, Mike, do you know, and I don't want to put you on the spot, how fast can they be going to use this, or how slow? Isn't there like kind of a window?
So, yeah, I mean, the slower the better. It just gives everybody a little bit more chance. But when Joy was out there, I believe it was our Joy Benedict who did the story with Riverside Sheriff, they've said that they have successfully done this at over 100 miles an hour before. Wow. So it's not necessarily like a pit maneuver. The problem is the net didn't catch the wheel the way that you would have wanted it to. Watch this, right side of your screen. The net comes under and it catches the bumper. You actually see part of the bumper fly off, and then as soon as the deputy backs out, that's when the car goes off and veers to the left. Here it is one more time, and you'll see caught on the bumper. He lifts it and it gets caught on the bumper instead of the wheel. The idea is it gets caught on the wheel and it gradually slows the wheels down. It doesn't bring it to a direct stop, but there are zip ties, essentially, is probably a better word for it, but zip ties on the under of that Grappler that will slowly brake so that the car slowly comes to a stop instead of kind of slamming it all at once.
Yeah, but it did seem like the K-9 officer did back off a little bit because there were other cars coming in the opposite direction. So it seemed like he kind of backed off a little bit until there were no cars heading in the opposite direction, which is a really good thing because we just saw how this car really went out of control and slammed into that wall.
And everything happened so fast. We came on the air, and suddenly the Grappler, Mike, was deployed. He had been sitting at that intersection there of Belgrade and Etowanda, right by Harupa Valley High School for quite a bit. We were waiting to see what was going to happen. He was on the phone, Mike, you were saying, with 911, talking to somebody. We thought at some point that he may be giving up, but then he started slowly driving, picking up pace. That's when we came on the air, and that's where we saw the Grappler deployed, and within basically seconds, we saw this car come crashing into this, looks like some wooden fencing. It might be some, you think horse trails, Mike, that may be on the other side of that wooden fence, and then of course the brick wall that he slammed into.
And we just saw officers in that backyard, I guess, trying to get another angle towards this car, maybe check to see that no one comes out and
There hasn't been any movement
Well,
either.
and
So.
Because this was an armed suspect.
Right.
Correct?
You see the Bearcat there because they believe that this person is potentially armed. Now, we don't exactly know how they know that, but we do know that the person had been calling 911. I actually spoke with CHP, who tells me they got the 911 call from him. The guy essentially said he was being chased and didn't want to be chased anymore. And then they realized it was a Riverside County Sheriff's Office chase, and then they transferred the caller over to RSO. So it's unclear how long the suspect has been on the phone with RSO and how long that they were, trying to communicate with the guy. We did notice when we first pulled up and before we came on the air that there was he was on the phone, and we were looking at that and we were trying to determine, was he actually talking on it or not. But we do know that there was a portion where he was talking to 911 from RSO. So what we're going to show you in just a second, I'm going to let the control room get situated here, but we're going to show you here how the Grappler is supposed to be used. I actually just pulled some file out of Las Vegas where they were demonstrating it, and it's the same system here that the Riverside County Sheriff's has. So as soon as we're ready for that, we can show it to you here. But meanwhile, we are waiting for this Bearcat to figure out how they're going to handle this. There's a very good chance that the person inside is just not conscious after a collision like that. I mean, you went through a fence and a brick wall. There is a decent chance here that this person is not conscious inside of that car. So they're going to make call-outs for as long as they can, and eventually I would assume they'll bring SWAT in to try to get this guy out, especially if they have belief that he's armed. And Carlos, do we have that video that we can show people of the Grappler and what it is, the idea that it's supposed to be used? Here, there you go. Okay, so right side of your screen. Again, this is video out of Las Vegas, but there you see how it is supposed to be used. So it catches the tire, and it slowly brings the car to an end
You
here.
stay connected to the police car.
And they stay connected to it, and that's got that rope that you see there has some, like I said, some straps that come loose to bring the car slowly to an end. But you saw what we're looking at here. We didn't quite get that ability here of them to be able to get that good grab around the tire to bring it to an end. So that on the right side of your screen is what it is supposed to look like. What we saw here, though, was unfortunately a miss. It looks like he grabbed the bumper, and then that sent the suspect veering into the wall.
Wondering if it's the style of car. Maybe the bumper on this car is a little lower. Maybe that's what made it a little bit more difficult for the Grappler to hang on and grab onto those back tires.
Yeah, and you've got these deputies that are making split-second decisions in high-risk situations at very high speeds. The smallest little miscalculation could have, made the difference here. It looked like maybe the Grappler tried to come up when it was under the rim, under the bumper rather, instead of under the tire. And it may have the suspect may have gunned it just a little bit at the right time to be able to just pull away from the Grappler just a bit. But you see the significant damage that has been done to that car. The whole front end, the engine is just basically gone.
I was going to say, I'm guessing the airbags may have deployed because it makes it even harder to look inside the car, and we aren't seeing any movement right now.
No movement at all, but to see that hood up like that, and I mean, really, this Cadillac has just been smashed up there, and the way the tire is sitting, this person may in fact be injured in the vehicle, not able to get out, but because there is a chance that he's armed, officers certainly have to really be cautious about approaching the car to check on this suspect. And Mike, we see them in really certainly the positions. They are ready for anything that the suspect may do.
Some of those officers, Mike, they're still pointing their guns. The canine officer there is ready to go if needed. But again, what is happening now? You're saying that they're calling out commands, right?
Yeah, they're going to give the driver commands. The problem is look, you got that Cadillac that's heavily tinted. So they're not able to see inside of it. They're going to form a tactical plan. It looks like you already have some RSO SWAT members on scene right there with the Bearcat and behind the Bearcat. They may be waiting for some additional SWAT members before they kind of make an approach here. But they are probably going to, I would assume, maybe first break one of the windows to try to get a look inside. They may shoot some gas in there to try to get the guy out, again, if he is able to and if he is conscious. The problem is, though, they can't see into those windows very well. So I would expect the first thing you'll see is them to bust out one of the windows somehow, whether they're going to shoot it with some rubber bullets or what have you, however they want to do that. But my guess would be they'll try to break a window out first, get an idea of what they can see inside, and then make a tactical plan from there to approach the driver at some point. If he's incapacitated and unable to get out, they're going to have to go in there and pull him out some way, one way or another, likely with shields or with an additional Bearcat that'll come up right against the side of the car there and try to sort all that out. But right now, they're going to let the suspect see if he can come out on his own. It doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Like it, yeah.
And then they'll just make a plan on how they're going to go next.
Mike, what was the original one on this?
Yeah, traffic violations. Just traffic violations. And that's what we talked about yesterday is they originally tried to stop that guy for swerving, you know, and it ended up being a 4-county tour last night. I mean, luckily that didn't end like this. But yeah, it's crazy when you hear these things because, again, we were trying to get, you know, what's the want here, and all we were getting was traffic violations. So it's unclear what that was or why they were, you know, insistent on chasing this person with traffic violations. But you're looking here, they're moving cars out of the way. My guess is there's another Bearcat, and I don't know, John, if you can pull out a little bit, if you see any other Bearcats or armored vehicles that are approaching the scene here. But I would assume they're probably going to start moving some of those patrol cars out of the way. I don't see them yet. But get some of those patrol cars out of the way so they can get additional armored vehicles in to be able to stop that. The good news, though, here, I mean, yes, we're in a neighborhood, but we got away from the school, right? Because that school was just, I was looking at their bell schedule, which was getting out at 3:25, and it's only 4 minutes ago. So hopefully, at least we're away from the school now.
We are away from the school. And that's what was so interesting, Mike. You know, he was sitting in the car for so long. We knew he was talking to 911. We thought this eventually would be coming to an end. And then, again, he slowly started to peel away from that intersection at Belgrade and Etowanda, right? Yeah. And here we are just a few minutes after that. The Grappler was deployed, and he crashed into not only a fence, a wood fence, that looks like maybe it divides a little horse trail in that area there, and into that cement cinder block wall. And you can just see the damage that it caused to the car.
Yeah, and we're showing you on the right side of your screen what Juan was just talking about when he was sitting at that intersection there at Belgrave and Etowanda, right outside of that Harupa Valley High School campus there. And he sat there for a good little while there, and then slowly but surely started to move. You can see he's holding his phone there, and we know that he had been on the phone quite a bit with 911. And then slowly and surely he started to take off. But officers were right there on the scene and ready to follow him with that new device that unfortunately did not stop the car, but we see the results of that.
Yeah, indeed. And you can see in his hand, that looks like his cell phone. And for a while, we really couldn't tell what it was, but that's the cell phone that apparently he was on. And you can see he was very calm sitting in the driver's seat. One hand holding the phone, the other one kind of on his lap, and not a lot of movement. All that police right behind him there, and as Mike was saying, right outside where the high school is. And here's the Grappler once again. It misses the first one here, Mike, and then the second time around, it deploys, but not the way it's supposed to.
Not the way it's supposed to. It never made it underneath of that wheel, and this is the first time, again, we'll say it again, but this is the first time we have seen on our air, at least, the use of a grappler during a pursuit. It is a fairly new tool for the Riverside County Sheriff's Office. It is only equipped on their canine vehicles. We saw it on that canine vehicle before the chase, continued here, and as soon as that guy took off, that canine unit jumped up there really quickly, and you saw the speeds. The speeds were fairly quick on this. Riverside Sheriff's Office have told us that they have done this over 100 miles an hour at one point during a chase. So there's not necessarily a speed restriction that we're aware of, though certainly the faster the speeds, the more inherent risk there is in this. And then you see how quickly they got that Bearcat up behind the guy to prevent him from backing out, though that engine is not going to go anywhere. And again, we don't know right now if the guy's incapacitated or what his deal is and what his status is inside of that car, because we've yet to see any movement. We're going to come around the front. John's looking through the windshield, though it's severely cracked. I mean, look at the engine, guys. There's just nothing left of that car.
Incredible. Yeah. And this is a Cadillac, right, Mike?
Yeah. Yes, it's a Cadillac CT5.
It's a lot of damage, which just really goes to show you the speed that he was going when he slammed into that wooden fence and then that wall. And it looks almost like that building is some type of maybe garage
maybe?
Yeah, like an
There's
outbuilding.
no windows. It looks like maybe there is a house next to it, but this. Maybe the
maybe a
windows are on
back
the other
house.
side. Yeah.
Yeah, it does look like it may be a back house.
Just with no windows on the other side. But this is a busy roadway that is now closed, as Mike was mentioning, just minutes after school got out, and the school's just down the road there. So a lot of people experiencing detours after getting to their kids.
Yeah, and we do know that the fire department is staging They're certainly not going to come into this scene until RSO gives them the clearance to do so. John briefly looked in the window there. I didn't see anything. We don't want to get too tight on that in case this person is deceased. Yeah, we just don't want to show that on TV, obviously. But no movement at all inside of this car. John, when you pulled out really quickly, I did notice that RSO also has a presence in the neighborhood on the other side of the street. So you got some deputies right there at the corner of the building, and then you got their patrol cars that are, see right there, you got about 5 patrol cars that are there on the street as well. So they came into the neighborhood quickly so that they could get on the other side of this, and they are positioned up right on the corners of that outbuilding. Yeah, you got him right there, just in case this guy gets out and moves. But again, I don't think this is going to end well for the person inside of this car. I think this is going to be a situation where eventually they'll recover him out. But you know, he's been in there a while now. We've not seen any movement, and we'll have to see what RSO is going to plan to do here. It looks like they're going to reposition the Bearcat, so we'll see how they're going to do that, if they've brought in a second one or what their plan is. But you know, they may be making a move here to.
I think they are, Mike.
To try to end this. They're going to bust through the rest of that fence that's there.
And you know what's interesting, Amy, if you look at it too, just to the left of the Bearcat there, that's where he first went through the fence. Yeah. And then he kind of diagonally went into that wall. Look how much of that wall he busted out before the car stopped where it is right now. Wow. So again, the force, the velocity of that crash, even though you think it wasn't going too fast, the car was, it looks like it was going pretty fast. The entire front portion of it, the hood is crumpled up. We can see the engine. And again, so far we haven't seen, Amy, any movement whatsoever.
No movement, but we do notice that the front windshield there really did get some damage. Yeah. And of course, those windows are just so dark. I
didn't see him wearing a seatbelt. If we go back to that earlier video too, where he's sitting there.
He was, you said?
I don't think he was wearing a seatbelt. So like that's not a good idea. Be a problem. Not a good idea.
Hey, guys, I wanted to give you some quick information too on the Grappler. Courtney, our producer, went back and looked at the information. I think there was Joy Benedict that did the story for us the first time. In March, when we had spoken to these guys, they had successfully used the Grapple 7 times. Grappler, not all on pursuits. They had told us that sometimes they've used it before it even got to that point, just to bring it to an end. 4 of the people that they took into custody using the Grappler were murder suspects. They've done them at 35 miles an hour, but they've also say they've been successful at speeds up to 100. So the speed really varies there. But there you go again. You can see the crash there on the right side of your screen as RSO has kind of repositioned the Bearcat. I'm kind of waiting to see if they're going to try to pop out one of the windows here. To get an idea of if that guy's moving in there, but we've not seen, anything. Yeah, I don't know. Their helicopter's still overhead. I don't know if they're getting a better visual inside that front windshield than we are, although it's pretty cracked and damaged, so it'd be hard to tell.
Mike, they positioned the Bearcat there not because, the car's not going anywhere clearly. It's more for them to get a better vantage point. It looks like that one officer behind that shield is either looking at something or maybe positioning that beanbag that you're talking about to blow out a window. What do you think right there?
That's still a lethal gun. That's not less lethal. Okay, he's still got their primary, lethal munitions there. And then you've got these other guys that are trying to get, and you're right, Juan, it's not to prevent the car from going anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere, but it's just so that they have tactical cover while they're trying to do this. So, at some point, like I said, I believe that they'll probably pop one of the windows open just so they can get inside there. They may shoot some gas. They've got K9 there, though, and you see them talking to K9 right there, though that would require them to, either run up and open the door or get the window broken enough that K9 can jump in. So we'll see. They don't always love to use K9s, especially if they think the guy's armed, but we'll see how they handle it.
And all the while, if he is injured, he is not getting medical attention, right? He's just sitting in the car right now.
And you got to know that he is injured in some capacity. It's just how severe are the injuries, and is this person still helpable, or where are we at with all that?
Exactly.
Well, there's some crime tape.
Wow, crime tape's going up.
Yeah.
Yes, and we do know that street is blocked off through traffic in the middle of the afternoon. 3:37, kids have just gotten out of school at Harupa Valley High School.
10 minutes ago, 12 minutes ago.
They're not able to get around there, but we are just watching and waiting patiently as they are trying to decide exactly how they are going to handle the suspect that is in that car, led officers on a long pursuit. Was on the phone with 911 several times, talking to dispatchers. Again, this all started over traffic violations, is what Mike was telling us. But this has been going on quite some time, and now we're still continuing to wait to see whether or not this person has been injured in really a pretty bad crash into a wall.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are going to continue following this breaking news story. CBS LA at 4 is right around the corner. In about 20 minutes or so, we have crews on the scene, as well as SkyCal. Our Mike Rogers on the desk gathering information. We'll bring you the very latest at the top of the hour.